Good evening, Dr. Zamkar. Welcome. You're not audible. Hello. Sir, you are not audible.
Very good morning, sir. Now it is it?
It is audible.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Zamkar, you are still not audible. Can you please check once? Good evening, Dr. Zamkar. Welcome. Not audible. Hello. Sir, you are not audible.
Very good morning, sir. Now it is it?
It is audible.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Zamkar, you are still not audible. Can you please check once? Good evening, Dr. Zamkar.
Okay, I am audible now?
You are.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, Jajurikar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Good.
Good.
It is same time.
Yeah, we are both in post. Yeah,
PST.
correct. So I'm assuming in pods that take is Ajay Bhagwat.
Yeah. Ajay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So is it still temperature is low there in Seattle?
Seattle is in 40s. California is always nice and warm and good. So
California is in 70s.
yeah.
And it's quite sunny here.
Plus,
We are happy that there is no snow, so we celebrate.
Yeah. And you are able to do boating in your lake. Na?
That is also good. Yeah. The lake is not frozen, so we are happy.
hello, Dr. Manoj, Dr. Arun.
Yes, good morning,
Anniversary.
sir. Yeah.
Hi, good morning. So Sanjay and Dr. Arun, on Zoom, we will have Ayurved Association's dignitaries only, and rest of the audience is going to watch us on YouTube channel.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so basically to manage the number of subscriptions, it was to be done like this.
But then suppose you have a question, you can
Yeah, so
pass it on.
my colleague will read the questions, and he is also going to join our Zoom session, and he will post those questions in the chat box here. I'll keep monitoring the questions and interrupt the presenter whenever it is possible. Yeah. So I'll take care of that question posting.
And it's also available on Google Meet. No?
No, not on Google Meet. Zoom, and then it is integrated with YouTube channel. So the audience can watch us there. So we have shared YouTube link now. Just a while ago, I shared it with everyone.
Yeah. On the screen, I see live YouTube. That is that.
Yeah.
On your screen, yeah. So on the browser, you can copy the link and see it.
Yep. There is a Telegram group as well that is also being used as a vehicle to keep everyone posted and communicate about this. Now, just a while ago, I shared it with everyone.
Yeah. On the screen, I see live YouTube. That is that.
Yeah.
On your
And then if you just click there, there is a YouTube link, and go to YouTube and put that link, you can see the YouTube also.
Yes, but the only thing is what will happen that if you keep watching that, you will hear the echo of everyone's voices, because you will get the audio from the YouTube channel as well, and there will be lag also, a few seconds lag.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. I just now watched last few seconds of yours conversation again on the link. When I opened the link, Ajay was still talking last 2 sentences. So.
Yeah.
And when I start, you have to give me rights for sharing the screen.
Yes, I will. I'll take care of that.
But don't give it now, because
you
have to admit everybody.
Yes, that's right.
Dr. Rahul Surovish is coming?
Yes, he will be joining very shortly. I just had a word with him a few minutes ago, also with Dr. Manoj. I think they have already created a plan of how this inauguration ceremony to go. And all the dignitaries and senior members of this association would share their views. And then Dr. Zamkar, your session is last but one. Then I'm going to share the outline of this webinar, and then there will be a vote of thanks.
What is the total duration, Ajay?
So this is actually 3 consecutive days, 1 hour each kind of webinar. Every day starting at 2:30 p.m. IST.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow, 3 consecutive days.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the slide of the total outline here, Ajay, before everyone else comes? Want to show?
Actually, today, Dr. Zamkar is going to present. Right now in this ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
I'll
just
separately share. Yeah. Dr. Zamkar, would you like to test it? Yeah, just a second. I'll make Dr. Zamkar. Dr. Zamkar, can you share the screen now? I think it is possible now.
Yeah. But then what do you want to see?
Just to see whether your PPT is visible. Just want to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Your screen is visible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Looking good. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And who is recording?
I'm going to record it.
Okay.
In fact, YouTube is already recording it, right? So separate recording is not required.
No, but that YouTube recording becomes very long.
I can, yeah, always edit. On the YouTube also, you can edit that video, shorten it according to your. So this initial 15-20 minutes, I will have to definitely delete it. It's becoming now unusual to see people without masks.
Hmm.
There was a WhatsApp joke going on.
Mm-hmm.
One guy is entering his own home without mask,
Mm-hmm.
and his dog is barking at him. And then the moment he puts the mask on, he stops barking. So in his image analysis,
Mm-hmm.
for the
Yeah.
owner, it is with the mask.
Mm.
How is Corona in Seattle?
It's much better actually. It's very much in control. Even vaccination is going smoothly. So quite a few people we know are getting it now. So
Santa
cases
Clara
are also
County is Santa Clara County is doing best. I think
Hmm.
dairy there are more minus 48% and all. But I
Yeah.
think Pune is going out. No? How is Pune, Ajay?
Yeah, it's really bad to us.
So again, lockdown.
Yeah.
Not lockdown, but pretty bad now. 3,000 cases, I think, yesterday.
No, because we test far more in Maharashtra. Rest of the states, they don't test only.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be there. I think Manipal campus was also red zone last week. That's what Kalidas was saying in Mangalore.
Dr. Manoj, hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
You're audible, sir. So we have 1 minute to go. I think.
Yeah, I have already communicated with others who are supposed to start and speak. Yeah.
Yes. So I think Dr. Bidwai is going to start, right?
Yes.
His presentation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sharing his thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
Dr.
thank
Bidwai is
you.
already there. Hello, Dr. Bidwai. How
Hello,
are you
sir.
doing today? Yeah.
Great, sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Welcome all of you. Myself, Dr. Vihar Pidwai, Vice Principal, Ayurved Mahavidyalaya Pusat, and also Treasurer, Ayurveda Teacher Association, Maharashtra. I welcome all of you for today's inaugural function arranged by Ayurveda Teacher Association in collaboration with iPods. I welcome Professor Dr. Arun Jamkar, sir, ex-Vice Chancellor of MUHS Nashik. I welcome Dr. Sanjay Jejurikar, sir. I welcome Dr. Rahul Suryavanshi, sir. I welcome Dr. Arun Dudumal, sir, Working President of ATA. I also welcome Dr. Anand Maligudi, sir, Treasurer. I also welcome Arun Dudmal, sir, Dr. Pradeep Jondhare, sir, Dr. Sachin Chandilia, sir, Dr. Sandeep Jadhav, sir, Dr. Kshitija Shinde, madam, Dr. Dattatreya Londe, sir, Dr. Nitin Wagamare, sir, Dr. Ganesh Patil, sir, Dr. Rameshwar Pawar, sir, Maharashtra ATA President, Dr. Abhijit Patil, President Gujarat ATA, Dr. Ravi Srivastav, President Madhya Pradesh ATA, Dr. Binoy Bhaskaran, President Kerala ATA, Dr. PC Singla, Chhattisgarh, President Chhattisgarh ATA, Dr. Naveen B. Sajjan, President Karnataka ATA, Dr. Ankita Gupta, Dr. Mahesh Gupta, Uttar Pradesh ATA President, Dr. Kawaljit Singh Ahuja Sir, Uttarakhand ATA President, Dr. Bangarwar Sir, Delhi ATA President, Dr. Arun Kumar Gupta Sir, Delhi ATA, Dr. Bhargav Mehta Sir, Dr. Rakesh Salve Sir, Gujarat ATA, Dr. CB Singh, Bihar ATA, Dr. Jayashankar Mund Sir, Dr. MP Mund Sir, Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma Sir, Dr. Deepak Dobade Sir, Media Publicity Coordinator. Also welcome Dr. Ajay Bhagwat Sir, Director of Imports India Private Limited, Professor Manjit Singh Sir, Dr. Professor Manjit Singh Sir, Head of Education Accreditation Division in Trinam System, Chandigarh. I welcome all of you. We will start the program with Dhanvantri Stavan.
नमामि धन्वन्तरीरादिदेवं सुरासुर वन्दितपादपद्मं लोके जरारुक् भयमृत्युनाशं दातारमीशम् विविधौषधीनां शङ्खं चक्रं जलौकान् दधतमृतघटं चारुदोर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिरुद्यं शुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमं भोजनेत्रम् कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारु पीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगदवन प्रौढदावाग्निलीलं प्रौढदावाग्निलीलं प्रौढदावाग्निलीलम्.
Now, I will request Dr. Arun Dudhumal Sir to express his opinion about ATA.
Hello, may I audible?
You are audible, yes.
Good morning, everybody. Respected Zamkhed sir, respected Sanjay Jarukar sir, respected all dignitaries, all ATA members. Tomorrow we are inaugurating the NAAC accreditation seminar webinar. Today I introduce our ATA association. In last few years, this ATA association all over India started its branches. We have done lot of works for our teachers and students. Basically, ATA organization is having a motto to social and educational academic activities, giving platform to educational and social as well as other activities to our teachers and students. We have done lot of seminars. Basically, in 2018, we have arranged a seminar conference that is in Pune, Also in research in Ayurveda in August 2019. Also Ayurveda Mitra Awards, we got Ayurveda Mitra Awards 2019. We have done a lot of deals with regarding our teachers' problems. We have arranged meeting with Vice Chancellor, and also CCM President. In 2019, we have started for academic purpose YouTube channel for giving platform to our teachers for academic performance. Due to critical COVID situation, we are unable to arrange seminar. Therefore, we have arranged a lot of webinars on the web platform. We also started the YouTube channel to new platform and enrich the Ayurvedic knowledge in students as well as in teachers. In this short introduction, I will over to Bidwai sir. Thank you very much.
Now I request Dr. Rahul Suryavanshi sir, President ATA, to express his views.
Thank you. Am I audible, Dr. Vihar sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Vihar Bidwai sir, who is our treasurer from Maharashtra ATA and who is vice principal from Pusat Ayurved College, Maharashtra. And thank you, Dr. Arun Dudmal sir, who is give us very good information regarding our Ayurveda Teachers Association work. I am very thankful to Dr. Mr. Ajay Bhagwat sir, who is the director of Imports private limited company, who has great contribution to organize this webinar. We as the ATA are working since last 4 years for upliftment of teachers of Ayurved and Ayurved as a whole. To see our activities since last 4 years, which we have done for upliftment of Ayurved teachers and Ayurved education, you can visit our website, that is www.ayurved.org.in, and also visit our YouTube channel, Ayurveda.Teachers Association, where you can find our last webinars, which are organized in this pandemic of COVID. And you can also visit our Facebook page by the name of Ayurved Teachers Association. This will give us information regarding our work. I'm very much pleased to announce today's webinar on NAAC accreditation, which has seen the light of the day. I request Dr. Arun Damkar sir, ex-VC of Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, Nashik, who has worked very good and efficiently during his VC and who has very good interest in the Ayurved education, who is also professor and HOD of surgery department of BJ Medical College, Pune. I request Dr. Arun Damkar sir, please inaugurate this webinar. And I'm very thankful to all principals, teachers and management who are going to participate in this webinar and want to uplift Ayurved education in certain height. Thank you, Dr. Vihar. Over to Dr. Vihar Bidwai sir.
Now I request Dr. Arun Jamkar sir to express his views.
Okay. Dr. Rahul Suryavanshi, President of ATA of India, Dr. Vihar Bidwai, Dr. Arun Dudamal, and various presidents of state ATAs across India. Let me first thank Dr. Rahul Suryavanshi for inviting me for this inauguration ceremony of a webinar organized for NAAC accreditation. And let me first declare that this seminar is open. Can I share my slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm to talk today on NAAC for Ayush. I think this has been one of the very important event in the recent past in the life history of Ayurveda as well as Ayush, that it is inspiratory and motivating for improving the quality of Ayurvedic education and Ayurvedic practice across the country. I congratulate ATA India, especially Dr. Rahul Suryavanshi as the president, for organizing this webinar series. And I think Ayurvedic Association is getting Ayurveda in proper direction. Let me just brief you, which has been actually discussed with Dr. Rahul Suryavanshi, is about National Commission on Indian System of Medicine, where the bill has been passed by Lok Sabha. And like a National Medical Commission, you will have National Commission of Indian System of Medicine in near future, and where whole education of Ayurveda, say minus Ayush minus homeopathy, will be under this commission. And then why I'm talking all this is because there will be various boards like National Medical Commission. Under National Medical Commission, we have 4 boards: UG, PG, Accreditation, and Registry. There are only here also there are 4 boards, one for Ayurveda, one for Unani, and others. But then third board is for medical assessment and rating, where like an NMC, this commission is also handing over the job of recognition and monitoring of Ayurvedic colleges across the country. By Ayurveda, I mean all, Unani and all, under this board. And therefore, I suppose they will be just following similar principle like NAAC. And that's why NAAC accreditation and process is very, very important for us to understand, because the same pattern will be followed. And when you go to NAAC, now NAAC is a very one of the robust body across the country for accreditation of higher education. If you see the vision of NAAC, it says to make the quality the defining element of higher education in India through combinations of self and external quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance initiative. I think it's one of the very robust and transparent body which is going to highlight the quality of education across the country in all higher education. Now, the mission is to organize periodic assessments, to stimulate academic environment by promotion of quality in teaching learning method, to promote research, to encourage self-evaluation, accountability, autonomy, and to undertake quality research and consultancy. Now you can see first time in a higher education studies, we are talking of consultancy, because academia industry collaboration is very important, and we can have a lot of collaboration with Ayurvedic industry, medical industry, or pharma industry. And therefore, what is important is the mission is giving a quality education and promotion and sustenance. Who can get accreditation is all higher education institutes need to get accreditation. There are definite benefits because they know the strength and weakness. They can identify internal areas of planning. And in addition, what is called as collegiality, that is the faculty collaboration across the campus. And what is it at the end? Now, whole funding of all colleges of higher education is going to be dependent upon NAAC. Now, the funding agencies always look for the NAAC. As a MUHS Vice Chancellor, we had a lot of problems because MUHS was not getting NAAC at all. I'm just going to discuss a little later. And therefore, institutions to initiate innovative and say modern medicine methods of pedagogy, new sense of direction and identity for institution. The society look at the information and the quality. So the one society looks at it, then they usually look at the NAAC grades and then intra and inter-institutional reactions. So if you see, NAAC is doing a lot of things nicely. So the framework that NAAC is giving is definitely far-reaching for the development of India, because they want to contribute in the national development. At the same time, while they are talking of nation, they just don't want our students who learn into these institutes to lack what is happening across the globe. And therefore, they want to foster the global competencies in these students. And then, of course, while you are doing everything, we should not forget that we are India. And India has a lot of heritage of value system. And therefore, these values need to be added. Now, if you're seeing this webinar inauguration started with Dhanvantari Pujan, I think that is something called as a value. And therefore, these values need to be inculcated in Ayurvedic education. At the same time, everything is going fast. So the promoting the use of technology is definitely required for all areas and domains of education. And NAAC brilliantly and profusely, profoundly says that it has a quest of excellence. Therefore, unless and until we talk of excellence, there is no use in talking anything. Now, who can get NAAC? Now, all institutes which are of higher education, they can get NAAC. Now, the college is affiliated to university by the UGC, and even the colleges of under deemed university all are under NAAC. The colleges which are have the autonomy under UGC, and then provide all colleges of statutory provision regulations which are recognized by AIU. And therefore, I think this list is long that all colleges can get NAAC. The problem now, I just come to how this achieved, that when I was Vice Chancellor, a lot of the Government of India fundings which were coming to universities were dependent on NAAC. And MUHS, being an affiliated university, was not getting any NAAC accreditation because we are not fitting in there at all. And therefore, because until then, the health profession institutes were not included in these areas. So we had a lot of correspondence with NAAC. In fact, I paid a special visit to NAAC headquarters when we had an Medical University Vice Chancellor's Conference in Bangalore. And then 4 of us, we went to see NAAC director. And then we convinced them that you can't just have medical education or health profession education outside the NAAC purview. They suggested that still you can do, and you can have maybe 5 constituent departments under the university, and then we will consider that for NAAC. But it was very difficult to have those departments of higher end, because then I tried to establish say medical education and some other department like Ayurvedic, I didn't even say established department of Ayush, but then we are not able to do to that standard. And therefore, we were still having a lot of problems. And therefore, once we convinced, I wrote several times as the chairman of Association of Medical Universities of India about including Health Sciences University and colleges under NAAC. And therefore, I think this is music to my ear that we have now recognized. And we have a special circular under NAAC for health profession university. Then you can see that here, even not say constituent universities are there, but their affiliating universities are there. And then we have all the types of faculty, Ayurved, dentistry, homeopathy, medicine. So I think this whole thing is best thing that is happening across, so to improve the quality of education. And an assessment would be done through an ICT enabled process, which is robust, transparent, objective, scalable. and they are optimizing say latest technology, which saves a lot of time. And then we are utilizing for NAAC advanced technology tools, resources. And I think this whole thing has become very, very technology oriented. So actually, while we go for NAAC, there are several short forms. And therefore, I just want to introduce all those short forms and the process. Now, the process starts by an online submission, what is called as IIQA, Institutional Information and Quality Assessment. And then it is followed by SSR, that is self-study report. Then what you do submit is validated by DVV, that is data validation and verification. Then first time they are giving a lot of attention to students. Therefore, we have what is called SSS, Student Satisfaction Survey. And then 35% marks or credit is given to a peer team visit, what's called the PTV. And at the end, they get institutional grading. So I think there are a lot of these short forms are being used. And I'm just going to introduce one of them. So the first thing, while we are submitting an SSR, that is self-study report, you have to give all quality indicators of what is called as QRF. And now this QRF, they are a description, and they go into 7 different domains: curricular aspects, teaching, learning, research, infrastructure, student support. So these all come under QRF. And then each QRF goes into several domains. Now let us say we are, the first criteria is a curricular aspect, where we have design curriculum, and then curriculum planning, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, and feedback system. Now the curriculum design and development is applicable to universities, whereas the curriculum planning implementation is applicable to the affiliated colleges. So what happens is we need to understand that all the design of each course, which is done by university, has to be a top class, dynamic, goes on changing, robust, and it has to be featured. And we have to say, put in all new thoughts. Now earlier, all our courses were what is called the T-bag model. That is, you put the student for 4.5 years, going into various phases of say study, and then the doctor is out. It is what is called a T-bag method. So as long as the T-bag is there in the say warm or boiled water, the tea will be there, and therefore it doesn't matter. Now, whereas now, that whole education is going for a T-bag model to a milestone. We are defining everything, and we are going again what is called as outcome-based education and competency-based education. And if you see, say the criteria number 1, the NAAC wants to identify what is the role played by the teacher and university. So the first indicator is curriculum planning. There are 10 marks, where it is the institution effective curriculum planning. And then it goes in the second thing about say full-time teachers, participating teachers, and everywhere there is what is called as a qualitative as well as quantitative. And if you see, there are data templates available of curriculum planning, how many times the quantitative method will find out how many teachers we have, how many of them participated in board of studies. So this whole thing is very dynamic and very reflective to find out how the teachers in your college are participating in university campuses. Now, therefore, if you see university, say matrix, we have 7 criteria of QIF, autonomous college is 7 criteria, and then we have key indicator 34. Then with all of them, they are of 2 types. What is called as a qualitative. In a qualitative, every matrix has to be given as in form of essay. Whereas in quantitative, there are formulas. And therefore, this whole thing becomes very complex, that we have around 115 metrics for universities and 96 for the constituent colleges. Then we go to second criteria, that is teaching learning, where we have student enrollment, catering of student diversity, teaching learning process, and the evaluation. This whole thing, I will not go in detail because this whole say project of QIF is around 250 pages, and is very complex. And say, let us say teacher learning method, they want to find out how it is student centric. They're using participatory learning, problem-based learning, SDL, then project-based learning. And therefore, while we describe this, you can see here that the response has to be written in detail with a 500 words. And then there is a process given that each department will start describing, and then the second department or the second faculty will review, then go back, and then it's a dynamic process till you submit. Then they are talking about what is called as reforms in education, where you can see the competency basis there, because now National Medical Commission has agreed and they are implementing complementary CBME across all the colleges in the country. And now this is the second year where the paraclinical subjects are under CBME. And Ayush has already decided that they should go into competency-based medical education. And I think while the commission will come and pass, the first order would be a competency-based Ayurvedic education. Now, looking this into future, as a vice chancellor, because I had 5 faculties, I always thought that suppose I have a faculty of Ayurveda under me, I am vice chancellor of Ayurveda as well. So being progressive university, we participate in World Ayurvedic Congress, and we conducted one workshop on competency-based Ayurvedic education, where we at least sensitize people to how to continue into a CBME of Ayurveda. I think this need to be taken further. Then we have research and innovation, the promotion. I think this whole thing is wide detail. They require innovation ecosystem, publications. Now, the first time this thing about consultancy, that NAAC doesn't see that if you are a practitioner, you do not consult. You can consult in projects and then extension activity. And then everywhere you can see, now these are the, say, research projects available, where you can proudly see that there is an Ayush written everywhere. So what are the schemes available for PG? What are the schemes available for grant? And down, there's a formula where it is quantitative. And then these are research papers, and where all these papers need to be from implemented, and then we have to follow that procedure. So the NAAC wants, under this criteria, to harness innovation, that not only research, innovation has to go beyond. And because the curriculum and updated syllabus, that innovation has to be there. If you see, the research requires money, so knowledge is converted by research, whereas whatever research you have is converted into innovation. And therefore, innovation pays you back, and then you can do more research. And therefore, all the students will be evaluated on the analytical skills, and they nurture the spirit of innovation. And I think this is one of the best things that is happening, because whole world is traveling towards innovation. And those innovation need to be even in Ayurveda and all faculty. And therefore, I think that is, if you follow this NAAC, then I think our innovation potential will increase. Then there is a criteria 4 about physical faculty facilities, clinical equipments, library, because they are putting a lot of, say, attention on libraries, especially e-libraries. And then you can see the IT infrastructure, because the whole education is going to be online. And then world has become what you call as a small place. The definition of knowledge is changing. We say that what is my knowledge today is you should know where it is available, because it is so dynamically improving and dynamically expanding that it is physically impossible for anybody to understand latest development. Therefore, we require an IT sector, and therefore find out what is knowledge today. And therefore, so what I'm trying to say is NAAC wants you to optimally utilize technology. Then they should have a well-developed ecosystem. The clinical skill laboratories, I think all simulation labs are there. Now, all Ayush teachers or Ayurveda teachers need to think in that term of starting a simulation labs for even Ayurveda, because MCI or NMC has already asked for a phase-out manner about simulation labs in medical colleges. The criteria 4 is about student support and about alumni engagements. And then what is important is whole NAAC process wants to evaluate how the students are taught, do they learn, and therefore under NAAC accreditation, they have all these value-added services which they have to choose from based on their interest, inclination. And we need to be student friendly. That is basic. And NAAC wants that. And NAAC insists on the mentorship programs, PTA, remedial measures to be taken. I think first time we are considering a student as a major stakeholder and to find out whether they are happy. Then we have key indicators like institutional vision, faculty development strategies, faculty financial empowerment. This goes on. And therefore, what is important is NAAC wants a mature leadership to be working in a medical, say, Ayurvedic college or any college of higher education, because they give a lot of weight to the leadership, the vision, mission statements, because each college has to be a vision statement, a mission statement, how they are doing about gender equality, what are the alternate sources of energy, say whether they have disability-friendly environment. I think is far better than before. And the health science universities, colleges also have to comply with critical parameters based in this framework. The seventh is institutional values. And then other thing is best practices. I think there's something nice to happen. Something nicely works in your college, and they want to extrapolate and amplify. Therefore, the best practices of what are happening small has to be taught and has to be, say, given in the NAAC. And then how institutes are distinct, that we need to find out the character of each institute, how it is different. And therefore, this has to be again there. Then last thing about all this is medical ethics. I think I was so happy that ethics has been given a lot of priority, because AD was responsible for implementing, say, what you call as a bioethics program, which was by WHO, and say a UNESCO program of bioethics in Haifa, which we implemented across all the medical colleges. So as the chairman of National Curriculum Committee for the UNESCO Bioethics Program, which was of Haifa, I was very happy that NAAC is talking about ethics. And therefore this movement is very important, because we need to create ethical doctors, ethical Vaidyas. So let me go now that all these quality indicator framework, that QIF, they were in 7 domains, and the right-hand side shows you the weightage. So this you have to calculate. And now after this, now let me sensitize you that suppose you have Ayurvedic college and you want to get NAAC, how it should be done. So, the first step is what is called as online submission of IIQA. And then once it is there, then once it is sanctioned, then you have to give a self-study report. And that whole self-study report is the details of that QIF. Once you submit and upload that data, then it has to be data validated by BVV process. And then there is a student satisfaction survey, because that is more important, that how students are happy. And once that, the peer team comes and they give grading. So the first thing, now let us say you want to do an app. So you have to register your institute with NAAC. So for the HAR registration, then once you register, then you have to do IIQA submission, then SSR submission, then SSR revalidation, then peer team visit. And these are the 7 steps which are happening in getting NAAC. So the first thing is registration. You have to fill in the form. It goes up, and then NAAC verifies and then approves. And then NAAC gives you login credentials for the institutional access for the, say, higher education institute portal. So the first process is giving a registration for the NAAC. So after this, once you have registration available, then you go into what is called as IIQA submission process. Now, IIQA is a separate form available where you have to fill in that form and upload supporting documents. Then you have to pay the fees, and then you submit. Then it is verified by the NAAC, and then the NAAC gives you some questions. You have to answer them. And once IIQA is accepted, you are ready to submit SSR. So IIQA process ascertains the eligibility of the institute for the comprehensive assessment and accreditation, and they ensure that the applicant institutes fulfill the statutory requirement of the agency.
Dashrath,
So once,
थोड़ा वेळ.
anything, Dr. Dhumal? Hello,
Sorry, sir.
I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Now once your IIQA is satisfied, then we have an SSR, that is self-study report. Now you have to fill in SSR in all those QIF, which are detailed pro formas, and it goes into maybe thousands of pages with all supporting document. And first you have to upload the template and then pay the fees, and then the select non-applicable matrix, and then that whole SSS process goes up, and therefore once it is uploaded, then they come down. Now the SSR consists of say executive summary, profile of institution, then extended profile of the institution, then all these QIF and templates. So once everything is uploaded to the NAAC site, then the whole thing is what is called the data verification, and then the DVV say identifies the deviations, and then DVV submits queries. You have to answer those queries, and then DVV verifies the responses, and at the end that whole thing happens. Actually, the data verification is done by a partner institute, which is a very valid and transparent process, and then it is accepted. So this is once about data. The third thing is about what is called as student satisfaction, that whether students are happy. And then the students, we have to submit email IDs of students of all classes, of all branches and all faculties. And then initially 30% students are given a survey, and then they give response. In case the response is less, then they're given to the rest of them, and they monitor, and for 10% of the survey, and then the closest within the 10 days. And then there's a computerization to find out whether the students are happy. I think this is a nice process of student satisfaction. Then whatever, say, research projects and research publications you are uploaded, it has to be on the InfluBNet. And then they do what is called as InfluBNet bibliometric data, where all the HIS details are uploaded to find out whether all these publications are in the Scopus or the PubMed, and then this is validation done through what is called as a technical means. Then we have what is called as SSR QNM, that is we have what is called the pre-qualification, where compute of say quantitative data which is done. And if you see, this is the details of say SSR of health universities, where there are 7 criteria. The key indicators are 35, and the total metrics are 2 types, quantitative and qualitative. The qualitative are 44, quantitative are 81, and total weightage is 1000. I think this goes into far more details. And these are the say, so what are the QIM and QNM for the total, for all the criteria and the distribution, which is available for download from the manual. So the QIM is a qualitative, where you have to give descriptive, 500 words description has to be given. It has to be perfect, because you need to express all your competency in that domain in 500 words. Whereas a quantitative, where it's a formula. Suppose your teachers, so number of teachers that you have divided by full-timers available or the research projects available, so it becomes a quantitative matrix. So these are the weightages of all of them. It's available for download for everybody. And I think with these, once I think you have all that available, then it goes into phase of a peer review report. And therefore, I can just briefly summarize. You have IIQA, then self-study report, then data validation, then pre-qualification, peer team visit, and final assessment. So IIQA information within 15 days, accepted, rejected, and then you have 2 times you can do, say, refer back again. And then we have to submit SSR in advance copy, And I think institutional profile, extended profile, SSR, executive summary, this whole thing there. And then we have DVV process, clarification to the HR, pre-qualify, failed, and then if you see pass, and then you get fresh IIQA. And then the whole thing is system generated, and it is notified within 30 days. So I think at the end you get a peer team visit to find out, because 35% of credit is on the peer team, where the peer team is very transparent, and then they don't want to do any hospitality of peer team. Everything is given by NAAC, and they just directly come and visit your, depending on what they want to see. And then once you have a input from the qualitative metrics of peer team report, and then input from the quantitative metrics, they both combine together, 35, 65, and put together, they give a G grade. So I think this is about the process that we are following from IIQA to peer team and requalification to the say NAAC accreditation. So if you see, because I had been witnessing in MIMER about NAAC, say it's very complicated, it's very transparent. At the same time, data collection, collation becomes very, very, what you call as intensive, and there are likelihood that you might make mistakes. Then there are a lot of, like say, data revisions are there. You have to see about the quality, then traceability of data, and then whatever you submit, it has to be seen that there is called geotagging, that even all photos taken on the hospital, they have to be geotagged, and privacy of secret data, and they go on changing, and then you need to dynamically upgrade the NAAC manuals, and then you have to, all these post-audit follow-up has to be done. So keeping this in mind, while I was working in my MIMER as a director, I've seen that this becomes so much of problematic that there are at least 25 to 30 people working of each department uploading their data. There were departments who are supervising, and all these QIF, they were reasonably overlapping, and then you need to find out which component goes in which place. So I thought we require a technology. Now, InPod was with us for having a platform for say competency-based medical education. Therefore, I requested Mr. Sanjay Jazurikar that you require a similar platform for NAAC accreditation. And therefore, I am very happy they agreed, and they are going to, and they are launching a platform for NAAC accreditation. I think this webinar is the first of that series to find out how technology is going to help you to find out all these NAAC, SSR and DVV and everything put together. Thank you. Any questions?
Vihar sir, Dr. Vihar Bidway sir.
I just described every process, and as you rightly said, I wanted to sensitize all Ayurvedic teacher for NAAC of Ayurveda. Thank you.
I think he is maybe a technical problem. Mr. Ajay Bhagwat sir, please continue.
So, hi, good morning. Sure. So thank you so much, Dr. Jamkar, outlining and elaborating the purpose of NAAC accreditation. This webinar is actually going to help everyone dive deeper into this processes of accreditation, as well as the other, supplementary processes required to not only comply with the accreditation processes, but also implement the expected processes at Ayurved colleges for the day-to-day teaching learning or evaluation of the students' performances and plan remedial actions to continuously improve their academic performance. So we are also going to touch these aspects of NAAC accreditation. I'm going to share my screen to introduce you to the theme of this webinar. So first of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Rahul, Dr. Manoj, and all other dignitaries of Ayurved Teachers Association of India to allow us organize this 3-day webinar in collaboration with your organization. This was being planned since last more than a couple of months. I have been continuously in touch with Dr. Rahul, and fortunately he is in Pune, and that became easier for me to meet him and discuss this idea in detail. And then we actually were thinking about making this as a part of your award ceremony function that was to be held in Nagpur, in this month. But somehow, because of the COVID situation, it did not work, and then we once again we started thinking about arranging a webinar, and this discussion resulted into this 3-day nationwide webinar devoted to NAAC accreditation management. So I have this couple of slides for all of you to know what exactly we are going to do in the next 3 days. The speaker is Dr. Singhji. He is an educationist in India and has more than 45 years of professional experience of working with Indian Air Force, and then he became an educator and served at top positions in many institutions in Punjab, and he also was registrar of Punjab Technical University. So he, after his retirement, he started working as an independent consultant for educational institutions to generally improve the quality of educational processes as well as the accreditation and rankings. So he is going to be our first speaker at 2:30 today. We will have the privilege of his first session on NAAC accreditation management. And I'm going to talk on the second day and the third day. I'm going to cover how to use technology platform for NAAC accreditation, as well as how to use technology for or what options you have and what you should expect when you are digitizing your teaching, learning, and assessment, which is now becoming a necessity for every higher educational institutions, rather for even for KG, I mean say higher primary and secondary education also now it has become a necessity to use technology for on digitizing their education. And I'm going to introduce you to a technology platform of Imports, which will give you an insight into how effectively a technology can help you digitizing your teaching, learning, and assessments. So this is the 3-day program. Today at 2:30, Dr. Manjit Singh ji will address all of you, and he's going to cover NAAC accreditation of Ayurved colleges. Second and third day, same time, 2:30, I'm going to share my views on how technology can be used for NAAC accreditation data management and ranking, online teaching, learning and assessment. And third day, I will cover a discussion on outcomes-based education for our Ayurved colleges. Now, if you look at, if you recall one, a slide shared by Dr. Jamkar, in which the weightages given for 7 criteria were mentioned, you would see that the second criteria, teaching, learning, and evaluation, has more than 250 points. So that's actually the remaining criteria are not even half of the second criteria as far as the weight is concerned. And that is why it is important for us to understand what is expected there out of the second criteria and how technology can help you achieve the expected quality indicators. So that's the overall outline of this program. The logistics of delivering this program is with the speakers will use Zoom to deliver the presentations, and audience will join this presentation on YouTube channel. The audience obviously can ask questions, which will be tracked by our team, and these questions will be posted onto the Zoom platform, which will be addressed by the speakers and others who are part of the who are the dignitaries of Ayurved Teachers Association. They also will be joining this, and if there are any questions related to the other aspects of Ayurved Teachers Association, they will be able to address those. So that's the logistics, and we look forward to meet you at 2:30. There is a Telegram group which was there, and administered by Ayurved Teachers Association, but we are encouraging all the members and participants of this webinar to join that group so that the communication with them will become very effective. And we are also sending emails to all of you, those who have registered, and they must have seen emails coming from imports about the various instructions in regards with how to log in and how to watch where to access the current session on YouTube. So that's the information that we are sharing with you via email and through the Telegram group. So we will make attempts to reach out to you as effectively as possible, but we request all of you to also keep sharing the messages received by you with others, so that they also would be able to join us on time. Dr. Hole, that's it from my end.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions? Ajay, are there any questions?
Just a second, we'll track those.
And in case you have time, can we request Mr. Sanjay Jazurikar to brief for 2 minutes?
Yes, sir, sure, no problem. I request Mr. Sanjay Jazurikar, sir, to express his opinion.
Hello, Dr. Jamkar, thanks a lot. And I actually wanted to personally thank all the leadership team in the Teachers Association of Ayurvedic colleges to give us the opportunity to explain some of the intricacies of NAAC and all the efforts related to using technology in terms of improving the outcomes of education. Dr. Jamkar has contributed a lot in terms of influencing all these initiatives to actually streamline the processes of getting all these quality frameworks where Ayurved College is also included as part of the overall NAAC process. I would personally like to thank Dr. Jamkar for all his efforts in the past for that. I hope that some of the sessions which Ajay alluded to, Dr. Manjeet Singh and everyone actually is passionate about promoting, technology use and understanding required. And then we want to make sure that the supportive role is played by all the stakeholders so that the educational institutes and Ayurved College actually achieve the vision and the mission of, improving the outcomes. So I really appreciate everyone taking effort to collaborate in this, and thanks a lot for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah, I think I need to extend my thanks to Mr. Jejurikar, Ajay Bhagwat, as well as InPod for accepting my request to start a platform for NAAC. Because unless you start doing NAAC, you never understand the intricacies and difficulties and the depth of, expertise they require. So I think the technology will definitely help to assume an easier process of SSR, DVV, and all of them put together. Now, that's why I just want to mention my thanks to InPod's behalf of all Medical Teacher Association. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Jamkar, for influencing us to actually participate in this. We are really thankful to get all the advice and wisdom about what is the right way to do it so that technology doesn't become a hindrance, but actually helps improve the quality of experience for teachers here. Thank you.
Dr. Zamkar, there is a question on YouTube channel. I'm going to read it out. However, I mean, this question needs some elaboration, but anyway, I'm going to read it out. So this is a question from Gramin Ayurvedic Medical College Hospital, Teradal. Time duration for NAAC accreditation is the only comment made, but if you anyway generally handle this, yeah.
A total process of NAAC for accreditation takes more than a year. Because if you see all the timelines, after you submit IIQA, they have to accept or reject within 15 days. And then everywhere there is a redressal. And then SSR, it goes into phases. And I think then DVV, and I think the total process is almost 1.5 years. If you are fast enough, and let us say the technology is used, it could be finished in 9 months to 12 months. Because at least technology will make you perfect. And the only advantage of that whole NAAC is everything is transparent. And maybe first year, you will be able to have a lot of difficulties. But the next year, you are train yourself to maintain the record. Because sometimes you do everything, but you never have a record. And NAAC wants everything with what is called a geotagging. Say, let us say you conducted one survey or maybe one camp. So whatever the photos they have, they need to be geotagged. So that they want to improve the validity of all that proofs that they have. So you get trained, and maybe subsequently, second, third year, you are far better. So experience and technology both can help you to reduce the timeline.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable guideline. Now, I will like to call Dr. Nitin Chandurkar, sir, Treasurer, Ayurveda Teacher Association, to express his vote of thanks.
Hello, myself, Dr. Chandurkar. I am audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Myself, Dr. Nitin Chandurkar, Vice President, Ayurved Teacher Association, and Professor and HOD Department of Rachana Sharif, Dr. D.Y. Patil College of Ayurveda and Research Center, Pimpri, Pune. I am very glad to inform you that Ayurved Teacher Association is the only association which is registered and work for government, aided and private college teachers. in all over India. Today, I am very happy to our ATA team for organizing this national webinar for all the academicians. It is very useful for all academic teaching staff to fulfill and for proceed for NAAC accreditation. I, Dr. Chandurkar, sincerely thanks behalf of Ayurved Teacher Association to Dr. Jamkar sir, ex-Vice Chancellor MUHS Nashik, for deliver a very knowledgeable lecture for this Ayurved academician. I also thanks to Mr. Bhagwat sir, Director of Imports India Private Limited Pune, and Professor Dr. Manjit Singh, Head of the Induction Academician Division, Chandigarh. I also very thanks to Dr. Sanjay Jaidurikar sir to arrange this webinar for our Ayurved College. I also thanks to all participants to join today's function and they are with us for next 2 days for this webinar. I also thanks to all state president of ATA for propagation of this webinar, and thanks to our ATA team for organizing this webinar. And I finish this vote of thanks and thank you. Very sir.
Dr. Vihar, please conclude. Dr. Vihar. Dr. Vihar, are you there?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please conclude.
Thank you, sir. From behalf of the president, I request all of you to join the program at 2:30 p.m. today. And this program is concluded now. Thank you. Thank you for all of you for attending this program.
Take a snapshot of everybody attending.
Everybody will have to share the video.
Just share your video and see that you are seen. Ajay, take a snapshot.
Yes, I am about to. Yeah, so everyone will have to share the screen. I'm in their video. Please share your videos.
And remove your mask.
Thank you. I'm capturing the video. Just a second, please. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you at 2:30.